Guess who's back? It's me. It's me. Yeah, that's right. Testing my new setup out. It cost me enough. Little dry bag session before we start a big stretch. Excuse me. Friends, what developments we have in the Jack and Lily Sullivan case. We're here just to continue the discussion. Well, the right discussion. There's all sorts of discussions going on right now. What a news week. This Brandon Lemieux is sent from God. Don't even have to worry about any of the detractors in that sense. It's just a flawless account. And he's very careful about his statements. You know, oh, by the way, he sent me a message in the background before we started straightening me out as to how he found out about, like, that morning at between 10 and 10:30, essentially in the morning on May the 2nd, 2025, how he came to know about the situation. And I had it in my mind, or was bringing it up, that he was listening to some sort of police scanner or emergency services scanner. But he told me that's not it. He heard it over the radio to whatever station he was listening to at the time. Otherwise, he wouldn't have known to go there in the first place. Here, I'll read you the statement. I'm getting all kinds of emails in my inbox. You guys are going to be keeping me busy for quite some time. Like, there's going to be a ton of awesome content coming up. Good day, Trail Hiker and Esther. Susie Mack, hello. Jilly Bean, thank you very much. We have a video that we uploaded. We just did a premiere on it before we came live, where we compare the statements in one place, because I know it's going to be a thing for people coming to hear about this after the fact. Well, make sure that you go and check out that premiere that was just released. I'll put it in the information bar here after I get done. But it shows this Emily Ogley, her statement to police that day. Now we have the statement from Brandon Lemieux contradicting, detracting from the account that was given to the police on the particular day through these unredacted reports from the affidavit. Well, I think, you know what? I don't like to play with your emotions like that. What you're experiencing, friends, is just a window in, a brief glimpse into the types of things that the investigators are facing and have to deal with in this situation. That all equals time. You think I could be louder, Captain Justice? Hold on. Okay, hold on. Test. Just a second. My microphone settings, you mean? I'll go open them up just a second. It says 74. Test. There we go. Maybe, I don't know what's going on here. I think everything's fine. Just a sec. I see it bouncing up in the yellows. It should be okay. Is it loud and clear for you, Robin? All right. That's cool. I'm glad you guys are looking out for me, though. Yeah, it looks good from back here. Sometimes it fucking shouldn't get reset, but I forgot because it's a whole new system. This is like my second day with Windows 11 on it, so thanks, sweet tea. Yeah, it's great for you, Annie. What's going on, Michelle? Yeah, so anyway, let me finish that thought. it's a brief glimpse into the reality and the situation that's going on in the case, rather than what we've been obsessing over for the last month, which is the information that's given to us through suspects, Janie, Malaya, and Daniel. This Wayne McKenzie's an interesting character. Keeps popping up. I have to thank Brandon out there for sharing his experience, because he doesn't have to do this. It's so very important. He deserves a real glazing, because, listen, there's so much lies and deception going on out there. You recognize it. So I commend him for doing it the right way. Essentially, the dude is saying that by the time he got there, and he's been involved with the search every step of the way ever since, it's not some sort of random individual that they don't know. He's got a story to tell. By the time he showed up, he had this experience with Alvin, which other people out there somehow maybe I shouldn't say that way. He came upon the situation at 10:40 a.m. in the morning, which just after 10:07 or 10 o'clock a.m., right around the time they were reported missing to the RCMP. Karen Steves. Yeah, thanks for your email, by the way. No, I'm right here, live at you. I'm live, coming from a prison cell somewhere in Ontario, rural Ontario, in an OPP prison cell. The copyright infringement police are on my tail. Let me get my slippers on. Emily was 14, Karen says. It was a school day. Why wasn't she in school? And why was a 14-year-old sleeping over at an 18-year-old's house? Yeah. I'm going to be extradited. Hold on. I better pack a bag. Well, thanks for I might take you up on that extradition. It's difficult to get into Australia if you're an outsider, number one. You got to have some money in your bank account before you get the nod. But you're going to extradite me down there for this nonsense? For how long? This is like a trip to Judge Judy. I got a kick out of it. Just on a side note, before I came live, people in the background are sending me emails about what's going on. And I noticed that she's got this post up talking about how she's outraged over whatever her interpretation of copyright infringement is, in light of being, a notorious serial animal abuser, killer, and violator of boundaries with children in a famous case in Australia. Listen, all shit aside, you've been exposed. Listen, you have to deliver the right message to this individual, man, woman. Which pronouns exactly do you prefer, Ninchi? Joss? You've got to give her the opportunity to change her ways long after the fact. She's so desperately running around away from what she really is. It's such a bizarre scenario. Why don't you just turn and face the camera, beg for the public's forgiveness appropriately, acknowledge it? Nobody would probably bother you. You could get on with your life. There's nothing worth trolling your ass over in that sense. There only is when you deny it. And currently, in this moment, she's out there just managing her bullshit. It tells you the type of scumbag you're dealing with this individual. Oh, who cares? We already know what you look like, Ninchi. Those fucking caterpillars over her eyes. Heaven's sakes. Like, are those drawn on? I'm not even dissing them. They're just significant. They're profound, I think the proper word is. Technically. An ambiguous one. They're profound. Or it's profound, should I say, the unibrow. But people keep sending me all kinds of little examples. If you're wondering what those pop-ups are on the community page, I've posted like 3. Oh, thank you, sweet tea. That's very generous of you. Keep exposing the scumbags, AB. We much love to you and charity. With all due fairness, I'm not doing a damn thing. But I'm talking about it. Listen, I haven't done anything. I haven't gone after you. I haven't targeted you like you target everybody else there, Ninchi. I haven't targeted anybody. People just drop it in my inbox and I bring it up and talk about it. Holy shit. But anyway, yeah, it was significant. I thought it was really funny because she has a post taking a couple of the screenshots that are going around about her and trying to say that this is the reason why all of this information is false and an attack. By the way, it's a huge copyright infringement. She's got, she's getting in contact with all of these international police services. Oh, fuck. Why don't you mention Jack and Lily while you're up in there talking to them? Maybe they can help you out. You must have an in. Fantastic. It's funny as hell. So they're sending me examples of her going and managing all of these things, deleting comments, and that's normal because she's triggered AF. She's triggered all the fuck. Listen, I'm just talking about it, Ninchi. I'm as surprised as anybody. I'm mind blown. I'm not making it up. I don't care if you believe it or not out there, but listen, there's so much evidence here. It would be a disservice of me not to say anything as an investigative journalist in a situation like this, in a podcast setting. Getting in touch with her lawyer and her actor daddy. Yeah, what's her lawyer's name? Let me see. Her lawyer's name. Where is that post? I just haven't. I saw it up there. Oh, well, in the big case, the case that she went through in court already, her lawyer was Kim Beaumeyer. She told the court her client's life leading up to the alleged offending had been in chaos, essentially. Well, nothing much has changed. You want to give the court a little bit of an update? I'm sure they would love to hear all about what is going on with old Joss. Well, let's tell you all about it. Fuck. We'll call you on the phone and leave a message. Yeah, man. I wish you weren't that fucking crazy either, Ninchi. Good to see you back with your computer, says Trail Hiker. Thank you, Trail Hiker. I feel so much better. It's terrifying. It's almost like being penalized. It's just all that it does is get you and forces you into having to do things differently. I could still do it through my phone, but I think I was more stressed out about the cost that was going to be ensuing because everything's tight right now, right? Esther, show your face, Ninchi. Esther's demanding you show your face. You can clear all this up. So clear everything up there, Joss. Well, there's really no question anymore. She's already been outed. There's no sense showing her face. Then they're going to vilify her and how she's ever going to handle that. She's just such a piece of work. Man, oh man. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit, Trailblazer. What are you guys saying? Hold on. She can't be on camera. She is out of hormones and her beard has grown back in, says Karen Steves. Holy shit, now. We don't know anything about that. That's her business. We don't know anything about that. I know it's people talking, but you know how people talk. We're not last nasty like that. Listen, Ninchi, it's not my fault you got exposed. All right? I'm just talking about it. A good Samaritan. I'm your little neighborhood birdie, told you. Oh, shit, but how ironic. No, sorry. Can't be having that. I know the rules, not that I'm a part of the true crime community, because obviously, as you can see, we do something a little bit different. Ninchi, Joss, Larkins just got memed all over the fucking internet. Like, People have to start submitting their favorite memes of this situation. Anyway, you don't want to bully her. We don't encourage that sort of behavior. Like, there's nothing better than truth and reality. That's why I have to, Ninchi, when I'm here in this position, I have to encourage you to acknowledge who it is, what it is that you did, beg the public through a proper apology, the normal routes. I don't need to dictate to you what they are, the ones that you're running away from. First, you would have to get in touch with those. You keep talking about psychologists and things like that. Honey, you don't have to fucking waste your time there. You can just make a decision. All right? Because the more that you lie and deceive, Ninchi, the more that you're going to alienate yourself in any online forum, any online community. If you want to be here and succeed in the right way on YouTube, the last thing that you want to do is having people in the background constantly digging up information and throwing it in your face and disappointing the 90% of the audience that you just built up. Why don't you just come with it? You just went through some serious experience with these situations. Give yourself a platform, explain yourself. You'll have the right type of people, and even bad ones, following you. You're not going to be in control of that. But do it in the appropriate community, like a real human, a person who is accountable for their own actions, instead of trying to white knight for others and making themselves a problem with their lies and deception about themselves and their own abuse and wrongdoings. You know what to do. You're fucking running away from it. Now you're trying to manage it. Now that it's out, you couldn't ask for better. At least I'm not malicious. It's just the truth, girl. Acknowledge it, eat it, and move on. Don't give people a reason to use it against you. And the way that you're moving is going to be, it's going to be very difficult for you. Not even threatening. But this type of thing is so big and so evoking of the public's emotions when it comes to abuse and neglect of animals, especially. It's not going to be something that people are going to forget. You have to be accountable if there's a story behind it. And it's going to be tough because you look like fucking Heinrich Himmler. And that's a true Tasmanian equestrian Holocaust. The more that you look into it, by the way, another way that you gave yourself away is that the same foal, if you click on the picture, when you search Joss, Joss Larkins, in her story, a picture of the foal that they had to carry out of there on a stretcher who was near death being starved, is her backdrop picture on her Facebook as well. Stop trying to run. It just keeps bleeding through. Again, not throwing it in your face, but it's just some more evidence. You're not going to be running away from the community that's already been chasing you down. I think on YouTube, a person, if you're searching out there, type into the search window the vigilante news. You can find the exact on my community wall. If you go and check out my home page here on YouTube, look at the posts, you'll see it on one of the screenshots. They've been following this since way back in 2015, 2014 when it broke. But let's put all of those nasty, concentration camp situations and scenarios aside for just a brief moment, if you can. There's a larger issue at hand, and it has everything to do with you violating the boundaries of children in the workplace, children under your care, to the point where they fired your punk ass and they won't take you back. Your union lawyers couldn't do anything for you. Oh, hell's Monroe. Holy shit. A big spender down there. Everything's taking a dip right now and oil's up. Thank you very much for the, the donation. Oh my God. Thank you very much, darling. Much love. When a person's honest and accountable, you're in the right place to spill your story. You would probably come out of it in the right community with 500,000 subscribers because your story would be genuinely of interest rather than the one that you want to fabricate and project for all of your local or loyal followers who have been duped and deceived up until this point. And it has nothing to do with your sexuality or biological pronouns or whatever you consider yourself to be. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with being a human being and doing the right thing. Now let's move on to other things. No, not really. You can bring it up anytime you want. It's funny. That's crazy AF. But I'd much rather talk about Brandon and what this means. It's just an affirmation, really, an eyewitness account directly refuting or highlighting deception, even in the affidavit, even though that's her statement about how she came across the blanket. We've always had a real wonder about what really went on there. Now we have a full scope 3D understanding of that moment in time, thanks to Brandon's account. Talk about being in the right place at the right time. There's always something, isn't there, guys? Hey, Janie, there's always something. There's always something that gets in the way, that creates a problem. No wonder Earl's so mad at fucking YouTubers. It'd be difficult to open a bed and breakfast in the area. Maybe open up a bed and breakfast there. You think that Janie would be able to keep house in a bed and breakfast there in the old Getty's place in the corner? Pool their money together and make something out of it. Try to get some people in the area. Become a little more social. This is what happens, throughout history. It happens. This is what happens when your coefficient is too high. Janie, your inbreeding coefficient. I think yours is like 3.2. The highest it could possibly be. And that's just, it got that high through generations of this craziness out there. You boys are probably, it sounds like to me that there's some skeletons in the closet and they've got no problems being happy keeping them there. And Daniel just imposed on that and threw his own skeletons in that same closet, perhaps. Leaving everybody else no choice but to shut their mouths and pretend that they don't know anything and go along with whatever they say happened. Whatever Danny and Janie and Malaya say happened. Well, we know what they say. Nothing happened. Nothing worth remembering. Well, isn't that just the stupidest fucking answer you've ever heard in the world? Yeah. That's like an admission to, hey, look here. Fucking tweaker. No wonder Wayne's pissed off at him. There's just so much to cover up, says Michelle. To cover, we haven't even seen the trail cam footage, any footages, RCMP. Well, I'm very happy with this because, I'm only going to say this once. Assuming that his account is what he says it is, then it's an example for the public. The RCMP don't even have to acknowledge it, nor will they. until maybe much later down the line, but you're not going to get an in or a verification of all of this thing. They want to placate to people who ask the dumbest fucking questions every fucking time because they think people are being informed by answering stupid questions in a nutshell. There's a formula to it, but you want to have real conversations about it like we do here and over on Mike Demands, other places, Justin's, you get them. Most of the time. He'll be triggered AF over Ninchi's. Justin doesn't even know what to think, Ninchi. I wonder if they're still going to collab. Did she have you driving up there on her behalf yet? Ninchi, you're in the wrong community. Robin Edwards says, how is Cheryl going to simp for Malaya now? I guess she'll have to start her own channel. Oh, well, I don't know. It's going to be pretty easy. There's always going to be somebody up there to host, a round table. Oh, yeah, let's grow our channels together. There'll be an excuse to get together and scissor one another on somebody's channel. Nobody watches that shit anyway. But now they will. Because there's, you have to watch because they're such fucking, they're so ridiculous. You have to report back. I know the feeling. I get it. Clip channels. But I'm preoccupied, obviously, trying to make somewhat content, trying to put something together. Whoever thought it was such a great idea to play in evidence is screwed in the head. Math must have been good, says Where is Truth. How's Monroe? That's very generous of you, by the way. Thank you very much. Holy mackerel. You're a champion. Friends from New Zealand. Hold on, I keep getting all these notifications popping up on my... I don't know how to turn them off. I'm going to have to do that. Still all this set up to go. River Rat. Ninchi needs the drama consequences as the horror she's inflicted on any of the poor animals who's relied on her for care. It's not that it just happened once. It happened over a period of years, and it happened twice. She was a serial abuser in that sense. That's what scares the hell out of me. She's like a real true life serial killer here. On display. Of course, a Hannibal Lecter would get their own channel just to blow their own ego up. Just like a balloon. Pump that bitch. Inflate that ego. Pop! Oh, I'll put my finger on that hole for a while. Oh, she just loves to go around and talk about how smart she thinks she is. Oh, yes, I'm just so superior in my intellect. By the way, could you send me some money for my chihuahuas? People are talking about how it's the first woman who's eliciting donations for her dog who doesn't make any dog content. She's just making you think that she has dogs in the background because she's had to make up these imaginary dogs because the courts won't allow her to have any animals due to the people calling on welfare checks on her, I'd think, considering her background. True evil. True evil. Yeah, fishing boat. At least Janie takes care of her chickens, LOL. Fucking right. You're going to have to point that out. There's no way that you can talk bad about Janie now. Especially Janie. See, there you go, Janie. Now you have got a defender. I'm going to defend Janie only from people like Ninchi. Yeah, Everybody's going to be able to do that. Not just me. Sweet Tea member for 52 months. God bless you. Thank you very much. We see it around here all the time. Yeah, there's always something. When it first rolls in, you're thinking, oh, shit. People are fucking on these, trying to make people look bad with this. And then you look at it and it's like, wait a second, I've got to reread that. Then I got to reread that again. You almost want to relive the discovery of figuring out she is literally a serial fucking killer. Okay? Who's already violated children. Of course she's going to be around these parts. Holy fuck, Ninchi. Joss. Oh, well, thank you very much, Andrea. Well, you know, to be fair, Panorama, yeah, you said, yeah, true, evil, and unforgivable for me, those poor horses. I share in that feeling. However, there's an explanation for everything. And my point to you, Ninchi, Joss, Larkins, out there listening, crying in the fetal position in the corner of her room right now, is to just spill the story and come out and share it with the world away from what it is that you're pretending to be. Because already I'm telling you right now, your real life is way fucking more interesting than the shit that you talk about. And that, whether they like you or not, is going to get you enough views to support yourself or get to a financial goal, a larger tax bracket in that sense. We're not here to judge you. The judge already did that. We're not here to judge you, baby. We're here to fucking gossip. We're here to spill the tea. You know what that is? That's real tea shenanigans. We just spilt the fucking tea all over your little scissor session. That's what happened. That's what's fantastic about the whole thing. Well, that really put a wrench into things. Didn't even think that would, you know, it's like when the Lord appears to you just magically in your Gmail inbox. It's like, holy fuck, what a difference a day makes. That really fucked your day up. Jesus Christ. Yep. I wasn't even responsible for it. Well, she wants to, yeah, well, yeah, Bonnie, I hear you. The ADHD excuse. Well, that's what Daniel's excuse is for all of this too, by the way. Probably collabing in the background. Oh, shit. Well, now we know. Now we know how to take you. Now, funny enough, the content becomes even more interesting for a different reason, doesn't it? When something like this happens to you and you get exposed AF, you get pwned, PWND, you get fucking just, laid out. You got maxed out. You've got exposed so hard on the fucking internet, Nietzsche, that there needs to be memes about you, but you get past it. It's fine. But the real story here is the person, the reason why they're lying and deceiving. Not just the discovery of it, like, oh boy, there's an apple, let's pick it and eat it. It's like, baby, we need to grab the seeds out of this and plant ourselves a forest. Because of the type of individual that's just been discovered in the community. No wonder you didn't think much of AI. Your information's all fucking out there. You know, to be fair, wasn't even trying to hide it necessarily. But she certainly is trying to hide it and deny it. At this point, that's what makes it a big problem. That's what I mean. Shit. As long as when you come out and admit no matter what it is and talk about it and your reasons why, if you feel the need, you feel better about it. You can sleep at night. You always had my reservations with Joss, but never had any idea how profane and reprehensible she really is. Yeah. I mean, think about how deep into Ninchi's psychology we can dive. Just based off of what's public record and public knowledge. Oh, fishing in a boat. Sociopath. Sociopath. Think about what it is that she's doing. She's triggered AF, carrying out abuse by proxy, the covert narcissism. Like, all I did was just read somebody's message to me, and it just happened to be exposing your punk ass. That's a layered. That's layered, baby. That's tough. I didn't do anything wrong. I was just reading. Teacher, I was just reading. I didn't do fucking anything. Just sitting here. That's so funny. She triggered trying to call halfway around the world to a police department to enforce her interpretation of some sort of fantasy fucking law she has in her head that somebody else has violated. You're calling the cops who are busy trying to capture criminals and, demanding they do something about somebody who's affecting your feels in a way. Does anybody feel that that's a sense of entitlement? There's a lot more that is. Too bad you didn't care enough for those horses to give them some food and fucking water. Maybe a handful of oats, an apple from time to time. You're probably busy snorting fucking Adderall, playing Roblox, trying to give your number to all the kids in your classroom. It's the way I'm fingering it. No, 4Q, never heard of that before. Yeah, Esther, she is now causing distraction from the Lily and Jack case. Well, we now have a very famous fucking individual in our midst. That's what I mean. People should be attracted to you just based off of your notoriety. Like, no different if it was Jeffrey Dahmer or Ted Bundy if he was alive, having his own fucking true crime channel trying to talk about cases. Listen, what you should go and collab with what's her name? Casey Anthony. And what's the other one that loves to live stream? The one who killed her mom in Texas, who were scamming people through, abuse by proxy, or no, I mean a Munchausen by proxy in that scenario. A famous case. Can't remember her name. But she did it, unfortunately, when she was much younger. Anyway, I can't remember. Why don't you go collab with Candace? Dawn. Maybe get Stacey Wander up and you can talk about just how innocent all you motherfuckers are. It sounds like a good time. Well, sadly, where's truth? It probably had a lot to do with her mental state at the time. And it wasn't intentional. Probably her obsession and her mental health struggles probably stem from the same place. And just like the Ninchi that we all know, she's definitely putting herself first before anything. She's all consumed with her own problems and not able to move and at a very psychological low level. It's what happens when you fucking, snort your Xannies too much. It happens. Sadly, it's common. Mr. Hemi, I care about your mental health, blah, 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 blah. But I picked that word not to make an excuse, only because if you read the articles, and you can find any of the links to those articles, by the way, on my community page, Ninchi, when you go and look, you can just scroll down. I think it's about 4 posts down because we've been posting so much about your nonsense. You can go and grab the links yourself and you'll recognize that there's a big picture of a foal there. And it's the same picture as the backdrop of Jaws. Ninchi. Girl. Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Thank you, Donna Williams. You can go collab with Gypsy Rose. Be Gypsy Rose. Oh, fuck, you're innocent too? Me too. At least you could go on. You could almost be the the founder of a new community here on YouTube. It's like a whole community, because you'd have to separate yourselves from the prison community. It's going to be like the former, the former inmates who are still in staunch denial about the realities of the reason why they made it to prison in the first place community. Of course, you can work around and shorten that up. Use an acronym if you want. I have to sit down and come up with some acronyms. Let me know in the comments section below. We'll come up with an acronyms for this new community that Ninchi's created. We've got criminals on the run. It's almost like witnessing, broadcasting in time. It's like a crime in action. Fucking right it is. Everything over there right now is under false pretense. You're lying about everything. Not even talking about your choice of pronouns or sexuality or preference. Had nothing to do with any of that. Has everything to do with reality. People keep suggesting that they think that there's a possibility maybe at one time she used to be a man. I'm not saying that. I have no proof of that. Every time I think about that, I think about this teacher in Ontario here. You can go and search it on Google yourself right now, and you're going to have a good laugh. What was her name with the huge fucking tits? She taught in Hamilton Wentworth. She had some sort of like porno name. She was a shop teacher in high school, and it was, or she used to be a man, now dressing as a woman, which wouldn't be normally a problem. The problem is here is that she has like these huge, we'll say, I'm just making this up. You're going to have to go search what it is. These huge double J, these monster porno fantasy breasts that she had implanted. And she wears these skimpy clothes to school nonstop. I'm like, what in the fuck is going on here? Her name escapes me. I think it's something French. There's a French reference in it somehow. Oh, Chesty Lemieux. That's right, Mr. Hemi. Chesty Lemieux. Yes. Oh, fuck. It's like Brandon's last name. Well, of course they're fake, Lemieux. Dudes don't have breasts like that. But shit, man. Like, what in the fuck is going on here? Could you imagine being in that shop class? Like, you're talking about really testing the boundaries, and you could understand it if it was just somebody's spoof. Do you know what I mean? If it was just somebody's spoof on it trying to do that, it would be one thing, like Candid Camera. But it wasn't Candid fucking Camera. Like this Chesty Lemieux, it was writing new case law, obviously because of the times. But heaven's sakes. The problem that I have with it is how heavily sexualized and suggestive it is. It's totally self-centric and over-sect. It's all about fucking and sex and freak sex and weird shit. It has nothing to do. It's not Zen culture by any means. It's fucked up in my opinion, but that's just me. I'm not saying that's everybody, just in this sense, most of them. Chesty Lemieux. There's a bus driver too. There's another one that gets mentioned a lot in the news. There's a bus driver. But people obviously have a problem with sex and bringing sexual orientated content towards their children. As well they should. You don't need to brainwash kids anyway. We got to remind them not to get themselves fucking brainwashed. Just brainwash yourself to whatever your math teacher says. Learn just enough to question it, and then learn some more. AB, we're going to all be in the asylum soon? Well, speak for yourself. I don't think so. Maybe it sounds like I am. Fumbling over my words here. Robin Edwards, you're so happy that Zach Jackson was outed about his criminal record. No ID, no driver's license, no passport, and lying about going to Nova Scotia to search for Jack and Lily. I hope he goes to jail for fraud. Well, listen, I think everybody recognizes those eyelids. You got to pray that he gets himself some honest help and sees the right path, because there's something in control of him and it's not himself. And I think that there's in his family, like his dad cares. He cares enough to have that. I think if you came in here, I had that up as a trailer of that video that they took of Zach Jackson walking back from the store at the same time he was up remote viewing Jack and Lily's case in Nova Scotia. He's telling everybody on YouTube. Maybe check out his rap video. Zach can't rap either. LOL. I don't think that's the point. He's here to attract a certain demographic to support his habits. Yeah, he's an addict, so it's so is his mother allegedly. That's probably why his dad and his whoever was holding that camera was filming him walk, because they know that mom has put on her addiction onto her son in that sense, and dad here is documenting it, trying to keep his son on the right track. You would have to think that his dad cares about his son in that sense. We know what's going on despite listening to the shit that comes out of his mouth. You heard Zach's mummy is also involved in this e-begging thing. You heard you can't say either way. Yeah, well, thanks for mentioning that. Now it's out in the ether. It'll explain itself. The YouTube gods have a way of sorting things out. His dad and his stepmother. Ah, okay, thanks. Yeah, snarky pants. That's worth mentioning. A comment you read on Ninchi was that everyone makes mistakes and can change and should be forgiven. Yeah, now's not the time to be theoretical. That's just in the time to try to white knight and distract away from the severity of it. The problem here is, above everything else, is that she's denying it, misrepresenting who she is to other people, catfishing you essentially, letting you down when you find out just how much of a sociopath she really is, with this much history in child crimes and crimes against animals, aggravated, serial. I'm not just making that serial part up. This is what she's labeled in the courts. All right. You're saying, a comment I read on Ninchi was that everyone makes mistakes and can change and should be forgiven, which is true, but I don't think really works for Ninchi, as she's denying and so judging of others. Well, yeah, she's just loves fucking all kinds of personal information about people. We love it too, Ninchi. Don't get us wrong. That's what they call karma. Little fucking karma on your ass. I just hit you with the big hip check. Scott Zach's dad cares, but he knows his son is a scamming loser. Yeah. Yeah. That's a big thing many people love to overlook. That's why they keep repeating the same thing over and over, Andrea. The comment is everyone can change, but you have to admit you have a problem first. You're not talking to one person in here or anybody listening that doesn't understand that. You know what I mean? God bless that statement. That's how you can relate to other people. That's why reality and the truth is so important, Ninchi. You don't need to run away from it. It's the lying. You can't then go on and try to maintain under some theoretical possibility that may or may not apply to a situation you're trying to deflect away from. And we won't let you do that. And that's the main issue here. Because she's going to be crying. She's going to be whining, carrying on. Well, yeah, this kind of crime needs extreme intervention. Her minions need to understand this. No, don't even go out of your way. She's groomed all kinds of people at any one time into taking sides and getting involved in what's otherwise draining of your energy. Keep positive and focus on what's really important here. We came about this information because of, again, hero Brendan Lemieux. In no relation is he related to who Buffy Lemieux, or excuse me, Busty Lemieux. Mr. Hemi, different dude. Because of course she was, and they're all on a mission to have you dismiss all of the information that Brendan came to share publicly, twisting it, misconstruing it, playing little games of telephone with people out there. You know, we've been here, it's been going on for quite a while. It's one of those very significant, you know what it really is? It's that big clump. It's that big clump of jigsaw puzzle pieces in your 10,000 piece jigsaw puzzle at your table at the cottage on that quiet weekend evening. You can't fucking find what you should already find, and it's causing you so much distress in your mind. It's almost like it's not in front of you. And then you feel over with your toes a little bit and realize that there's 9 or 10 pieces of the puzzle that fell on the goddamn floor. You rediscovered a lot of those pieces of the puzzle that altogether paint a real picture of what happened to Lily and Jack that night and everything that came afterwards. Call it what you will, the conspiracy, the process, the steps of the cover-up. Brendan's account gives you a preview right around the time Malaya decided to call the RCMP and lie to them and tell the cops that the kids might have walked out the trailer and she can't find them. And they also possibly are autistic. Just about that time, a little afterwards, calls go out, the reports proceed because I don't think the 911 dispatcher, the officer, went for break. All right. I don't think the officer went to Timmy's and got themselves a fucking triple. No, they went upon to dispatch it out over the radio, and pretty soon word went out. They're getting reports of children missing in the Lansdowne station area. Ends up being Daniel's kids. Dude is driving down there in his truck, ready to go fishing at Garlock Lake. Continues down past to Lansdowne Road, not Lansdowne Station Road, Janie, Lansdowne Road, and happens upon a scene, says roughly somewhere around 10:40, 10:50, 10:55. I'm going off the top of my head. He didn't give me a bunch of those. I can't remember which one it was. Doesn't matter at this point in time for this conversation right now. But he happens upon a scene where there's this Emily running out of the bush, he says. There's Alvin, Mackenzie, Janie's side of the family, standing out there in he says a t-shirt and normal chill around the house clothes, as opposed to out looking for kids in an emergency situation clothes. This Emily was dressed as though it was summertime. She's 14, by the way, a child. Supposedly dating Hayden at the time, staying at Patty's. All kinds of nasty fucking behavior going on over there. There's also a driver that he didn't name. He says to me he doesn't know who it is, just somebody tan who was concealing their face as though he noticed they didn't want to be seen at that point in time. He was focused mainly on his conversation with Alvin. And they talked about this pink blanket, this pink t-shirt. It confused me a few weeks ago. We were talking about, not confused me, but he wanted to talk about how the item that he saw, or excuse me, Brandon wanted to mention the item that he saw was a bright pink t-shirt in a tree. But as it turns out, there was several items in the unredacted affidavits. There's several items. There is the pink blanket in a tree. There's the t-shirts on the ground, all found there. It's not either or. It's all one event. We are talking about the same event. And today is when I found or came across, or it was sent to me, this unredacted version of Emily's statement. Maybe I should pull it up now. Yeah, I'll try to pull it up right here. Give me a moment. Give me a moment, damn it. I just have to go back a bit. Hold on. I'm going to have to be able to see these with my eyes. Come on now. I'll be in downloads. Excuse me, that's why I can't find it. So silly of me. Here we go. Hold on. Jesus Murphy. We'll read it together here. This is from July 12th, 2025. Constable Himmelman and Constable Robinson obtained a statement from Emily Ogley. The following is a summary. She says Emily said she is Hayden's girlfriend. They were staying at Patty's, and she woke up to the phone call saying the children were missing. They were out there and started to help search. She went with Hayden and Haley in the woods. They drove around. They saw kids' clothing hanging in a tree. They got out of the car and was looking at them. They didn't touch them because they thought it might be evidence. Emily said there were 2 t-shirts and a blanket. The blanket was hanging in the tree, and the clothes were on the ground. Emily took photographs as soon as they got out of the car. They drove back and asked Malaya if the clothing belonged to the kids. Malaya said the blanket belonged to Lily, but the clothing did not. They then told the police, who went to investigate. And Emily looked at the data from the photographs and saw that they were taken on May the 2nd, 2025 at 3:24 p.m. So, falling in line with the script that they all gave police that day, she wanted the police to think that she was notified. She was called about the kids missing, came out to help, and on her way out to help just came upon these at 3:30 something in the afternoon. She didn't mention anything about being right beside the blankets, being there and running out of the bush at 10:40, 10:30. She doesn't mention being down on that road at all at 10:40. Well, that would be, if what Brandon's saying is true, to be lying through omission. There's something else going on here. We have an eyewitness who says that you were talking and down there with Alvin McKenzie, who Alvin has verified being down there. So it's said that Alvin has verified him being engaged in this interaction with Brandon down there on the road. That's the way I understand it. That can mean anything, Michelle. I think it says not Anglo-Saxon. Yeah, who knows what it is right now. Maybe he knows, maybe he doesn't. Yeah, somebody tan. He described it in his, Brendan described the person that he saw alongside Hayden and Emily here in the car. The person driving was obscuring their face as though they didn't want to be recognized or seen. That's fairly suspicious. That would be suspicious activity, behavior by way of the individuals that now, considering the situation with Jack and Lily and how relevant it is, don't mention anything about being down there right beside it anyway. Yeah, it could be, Robin. No, tan more like probably could be possibly somebody known to the family, associated with somebody on the res or off res, who knows? Native. I don't know. As an investigator, I'd like Emily to tell me, like Hayden to tell me. They can tell me who was driving. Then we're going to go talk to him. I don't like to sit here and play guessing games when you know that the cops have already, got to that point in that sense. If they don't want to tell us, then there's going to be a problem. There's a reason for that. How did Brandon come to misidentify Jenna, Sadie? Someone must have suggested who it was if he didn't know who suggested the name. Well, I'll put it out there to the Ethernet, to the internet, excuse me. I'll put it out there to Brandon if he wants to answer that. He talked about that, Sadie 007. He acknowledged that and explained that if you go back and watch my video, even the last one where when we compared, I'm not sure if I read it there or not, but the first one that talks about a military veteran in the title. Yeah, well, he was the way that he talked about that question about how he came to know and discover and find out who they were in the first place, right? So if you're interested, go back and check it out. And there's nothing much to it. I mean, there's nothing really interesting that he mentioned. I'm just trying to remember. Yeah, I believe Brandon too. Absolutely, I absolutely believe him. No reason not to. It's just another situation. I wonder how many and if there's more out there, people like Brendan. Brendan's just not a fly by night guy. He's engaged in the search independently, and you can see the work, and you can see the honesty and eye for detail and fearlessness that he recognizes it. The situation requires. It's not essentially. I guess anything's possible, but it's not like it's a hoax or anything. Not like the hoax that Daniel, Malaya, and Janie are trying to perpetrate on the world. What were you looking at, Ilyanka? Hold on, I'm just reading your comments, trying to catch up. Yeah, Esther, Malaya said that the clothes weren't Lily and Jack's. Not that that matters much. We know that you're all fucking lying to us anyway. But thanks for the comment anyway. Doesn't really matter. We're not taking anything that you say, at face value, unfortunately, at this point in time. But it's different in the moment. You have to put yourself there in the moment, or imagine or conceptualize the need to express things a certain way to make it look a certain way in the moment, by way of the people trying to perpetrate this conspiracy and cover up of what it is that they did to Jack and Lily, or what really happened to them. The deceptive way they spoke of Emily like she was a 20-year-old. Michelle Maybell, who are you talking? Or Michelle, who are you talking about? Who's they? Yeah, she's a child. She's a 14-year-old kid. Being assaulted over at Patty's house on a nightly basis, and she's allowing that kind of debauchery. Disgusting. That's disturbing. Hold on here. Do I have that right here? I think I do. Hold on. I don't know where it is right now. Sorry, Ilyanka. I was going to pull something up, but I don't want to sit here and search for it. It's not interesting. I'd rather just talk about it and make a video of it later when I find it. It took me over half an hour to study and comment. I was trying to figure out what the hell you were talking about, Ilyanka. Sorry. He called himself Busty Lemieux. Then there was the creepy bus driver with the Lolita Express. Thank you, Rainbows Butterflies. Right, that creepy dude. That's what I was trying to think of. The Lolita Express. Not Epstein, but that's what he called his bus, his school bus. Down somewhere closer to Toronto. There must have been a family reunion out in those woods. Mayflower's part of the distraction. They called in everybody they could. So it wasn't Jenna that morning. It was actually Emily, according to Brandon, right? Yeah, that's correct, Michelle. I was just looking for his explanation. But I'm going to take that note and make a little video on it to clarify it and talk about it afterwards. Yeah, he talked about it. I just can't find that part because it's not just in one communication. There's different ones. I have to think about it. Now I'm put on the spot. I can't find it. I need it right here in front of me. What's going on, Lori? Yeah, I think essentially said he misidentified it because of the similarities. Something for investigators to look into, as I know that they have been. We're just looking at things after the fact. I believe Wade and Brandon. Yeah, we can't forget a little salute out to not just Brendan Lemieux tonight, Jack and Lily Sullivan, case hero. Hey, Kent, why don't you go and make some trinkets, and you guys can go make some awareness bracelets and keychains and window stickers and t-shirts for Brendan and Anita and Brad Wong and Justin Smith too. Even Wade deserves one. Those are 5 key witnesses in this situation. That's fairly fucking significant. Fairly. That's fucking a big problem. Especially when all of your excuses is that there's nothing worth remembering and everybody was sleeping and just happened to woken up by. Everybody's just chill on this Friday, middle of the school day, work day, just chilling in the middle of the day, snoozing. Bullshit. No, you're not distracting at all, Sadie. I'm sorry because Yeah, I have everything in my memory and I'm just pulling from my mind. And I hate to start and commit myself into talking about things where I know I'm going to have to correct myself out there afterwards. So I may as well not say them in the first place if I don't have it right in front of me. It's just usually I have everything prepared, but I don't have everything on this computer like I did accumulated with information over the past year. All that's gone. Not that it's overly important. It was just screenshots and just my stream of thoughts on the case. A quick pull. Not a problem. It's not like I forget anything. Go screenshot it again. It's just accumulated work. That's all. Precisely, Michelle Maybell. She says exactly, AB. It is disturbing, only 14, but again, this shows you how this lifestyle and mentality is okay with everyone, including the adults. This is another highly uh, problematic scenario. Sign, flag. Yeah, I think the term that I think to immediately was that comment in that publication I didn't recognize, talking about how, generational abuse is an absolute factor in this case on many different, for, I guess, it's hard to distinguish between the difference in families when everybody's related. So I guess we'd best just say generational abuse is a factor, significant. And it's happening again. There's an example of it. Just how far does the use of them go? They were, Daniel and whatever happened to Jack and Lily, she was being used as an accessory in this situation. It sounds like, by the way Brandon's describing it. Of course, everybody has their day in court, but we're just analyzing the evidence at this point in time, the statement. There's an answer to all of these questions. We're in the right spot. Brandon helped us get here. Hold on, we're going to grab a drink. Just a sec, folks. Oh, yeah. Lori Green says, Esther, I was arguing with her. I don't trust Daleen. She's not involved in that case. He mentions Daleen a little bit too, trying to sort out. Everybody's trying to associate something to the other. It's just natural in people's minds out there. Don't get too caught up in it. You know, don't let it matter to you. Usually things like that are just a way of trying to get and trick your mind into dismissing the information that's being presented. I mean, not always, but usually, especially in this environment. You know, use your critical thinking skills. Ask the right questions. They're covering up for someone, Sue Oilers. Yaha. I was eating. What did I miss? You haven't missed anything, Karen. Michelle, there's a massive cultural component here, says Bonnie. Specifically in with this fam. They're in a real situation. Word on the street is updated. Hey, Danny. Word on the street, bro. More missing pieces to that puzzle, publicly available for everybody. Just get your ass in there and tell them what happened. That's the only way that you're going to regain control of this situation and the narrative that you're so defensive over. Fucking idiots. You guys pretending that there's nothing to even know. It's just, oh my God. You couldn't look any more guilty in this situation. This is like a real no-brainer. Sadly, they still have to do the legwork because of how you guys decided to present the situation. Really feel sad for Jack and Lily Sullivan. No, Daleen's not related to Brandon. Sadie. Robin, you're saying you should like to know who Justin M will be testifying for? Prosecution or defense? And how it's going to end up. You like those situations where information comes out on the stand and it ends up benefiting the other person rather than the intended benefactor in that situation. The excitement. There's going to be a lot of trials, a lot of things going on, a lot of things to cover. It's not, you know, how many, at the end of the day, people have been pulled into this? I'd be interested to know, to sit down afterwards and go through how many people have been pulled in inadvertently. But it's better to know if you know what happened first in that sense. But you can just see it. Not that everybody's guilty in this situation, but there's little yells deep from within the breaks of the family culture here, both from Malaya and Janie's side. Wayne McKenzie's one of them. He opened up Sadie to Brandon. Excuse me, followed him around in a Ram truck, and Brandon went back and talked to him, and Wayne had a real story to tell, and I'm sure you've heard some of it through his audio voice clip. I got to think if I actually finished my point in that video from earlier on about, I'm going to have to go back and check. Sometimes we get distracted. There's so much information, but it's okay. We'll catch up. And of course, there's Wade too. Special salute to Wade. There's so much that you can pick up from where his mind was at that point in time, what he was talking about in relation to how sketchy old Danny Boy is and how he hated the kids. You know, we can see it when you hear people that know him actually talk about it and bring up the physical abuse that these two children were suffering under their care. It wasn't looking very good. They were isolated out there away from the people who truly cared about them in Gairloch Road. And sadly, their mother probably became conditioned at some point to stop caring about them because she has an immature, unrealistic view as to what it's supposed to be and how you're supposed to be as a good mother. The proper way, the right way, and the reasons that you do things in life. And she's not, nobody in any of these circles seems to have, or I should say, they're contributing to the lifestyle that's distracting them and the kids away from finding function and going out and doing things. There's a reason why we don't bring 14-year-olds home to the house and fuck them in your bed and distract yourself away from what you should be really doing. Contributing to the delinquency of a juvenile in that sense, but you're justifying it. There'll be reasons why she's staying there, but it doesn't change the scenario. There's a conflict of interest because she's having sexual relations there with an adult. Now, it doesn't matter. The age difference still inappropriate. Especially considering that she's a young woman, probably has nobody in her life to protect her from the fucking scumbags that she's now staying with. Another one. Oh, Mike Demand, if you're listening, can you unblock Robin Edwards from your chat the other day? She thinks she's blocked. Yeah, Lori, Dalene's not connected to Brad Wong either, I don't think. Dalene does her own thing in the background. She communicates with everybody. That's true. It's no different than anybody else. There's a lot of communiques going on in the background. Hayden, you're working on somebody to get that baby bonus? This poor bastard at the Dairy Q barbecue grill who's flipping burgers, probably making smash burgers over there, putting the chocolate on the fucking soft ice cream, winking at the fucking ladies coming in on a hot day. Ow! Oh, you've got to call the cops. The only person hanging around there is Fat Kent in his fucking wheelchair. Why don't you get on making some of those bracelets for our new hero here in the Jack and Lily Sullivan case, breaking information. Breaking information, Kent Corbett. Durwood, what do you think of this, bro? Jordan, told you so. These boys should be just jumping for joy with all of this information. How on earth could you possibly be trying to undermine him when, Jesus Christ, he's made such a discovery in his experience that day, inadvertently running upon your little cover-up, your little conspiracy, by essentially proving to the public a lie that you have told the police and the world. Just another one. It's not looking very good. Oh, Explore Core. Mike D banned you? Well, maybe you're being out of control, girl. You don't have to worry about that over here. Sometimes he gets sensitive. Sometimes he gets sensitive. Go back in under a sock account and ask him to unblock your old account or something. It's very, very sensitive. It's crazy to me how bad, Anita Benita, good to see you, how bad it was and how so many knew, plus Lily being vocal about it and no one step in for them. Well, they're even talking about it within the inner circle of the family, like the greater family in that sense, uncles and aunts, Janie's brothers. You know, they're talking about their concern for the conditions that Jack and Lily were living in. The things that Daniel's denying staunchly. You can't deny it. Like there's well, you can deny it all you want, but you're not going to win that argument, Daniel. You just saying no doesn't avert any of the problems that are apparent here. Again, you and Ninchi should be doing the same things. Getting a hold of the truth and in control of the situation that you've both created for yourselves. See what I did there, Ninchi? Tied it both in together. Man, great segue. Anita Benita Bonnie, yes. They allow people to remain anonymous with children's aid in that sense. Where did you see that? I'm just reading comments, sorry. It's crazy to me how bad it was is where I left off. There we go. Yes, Steph Warrior. Earl saying that the kids ran up on the driveway saying that they're hungry. That's a huge flag. Yeah, one of his Facebook posts. How he worded things. He's trying to make it look, I believe, that it was some sort of sweet experience and interaction that he had with two beloved step-grandchildren. Fuck. Considering... Listen, friends. This is a real horror story situation here. This is terrifying. This is the worst case scenario as a child when you think about the worst thing that could happen has happened here with kids that nobody seemed to really care about. They were not minded, ignored. They didn't know what was happening in their lives. They didn't know enough to recognize the signs necessarily and confused about all the questions that people were asking of them. But they still have that maternal instinct tied to their mom where they looked for her for care and she was nowhere around. She was preoccupied with attention and substance abuse and trained with this audio visual interaction. The relationship that they had was ill to begin with. It wasn't healthy. It wasn't based off anything except for shagging. Big deal. Fuck. Then get it out of your system and move on with your lives. Who cares? But you decided that you wanted to dominate this woman and make her your new fucking sex slave and move into Patty's house and shag her over there and start your lives together. Then add another child to the scenario. Who was going to pay for that? Oh, no problem. Everything's taken care of. Kids are already taken care of. Financially? Were they? How much is enough? No matter what, Daniel didn't anticipate him having to end up and turn into being a provider in making it through the day-to-day life as a family of 5. It had to have bothered him. They mentioned it earlier on as it being a factor. It bother anybody. Like the situation isn't ideal. These aren't things that you're accusing him of feeling. Who knows how he feels halfway the other. It's not an ideal situation. Why? Because we all ideally like the same things in our relationships, in our lives, normalcy, peace, quiet, success, health. Are you guys arguing, disagreeing in my live chat? What do you say? Explore course. Some people need to pay attention. Maybe Mike saw you in the other chats. Oh, don't be doing that in my chat. Everybody needs to love each other for a little bit. Call out the right people, not the wrong people. Oh, they're not talking bad about Mike. Believe me, I'd call it out. No, sometimes it happens. Like there is a sometimes an overlap. There's a percentage of error, an error factor, a correction factor. The person's not always right because sometimes creator will get in the mood and then deem something or misread or interpret something when might not have been meant a certain way. And it happens. You should generally just get in contact with the creator and sort it out. Or not even worry about it. If you're that worried about participating in the live chat to begin with, it's usually just to troll or disinform. But yeah, it happens sometimes. That's all I took it for, was just a person suggesting that they got banned. My question is, why did they ban you? Point is, I don't think they know. So I can't fill in that blank for you. Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, this is online. You know that, Sadie. There's some people who thrive on the chaos and hate. Oh, yeah. Well, so Ninchi sounds like one over there. So that's up her alley. Oh, shit, there's the cops calling me, asking me if I'm ready to be extradited for a holiday in Club Fed down in Australia, in Tasmania. I'm going to bring my swimming shorts. Shall I pack my snorkeling gear, Ninchi? Come on down there. You can have me on your property. Oh, shit, I don't think I'd be able to sleep if I was on her property. You know that they would be fucking staring at you. Dude, you're in a high probability of disappearing. You're going to be next. You're going to be on the you're going to be in the news along with Ninchi's name for fucking ever. That would be hell. Could you imagine being a victim of hers? Thank God you're on that damn island you can't get off. Now we can talk about you in every fucking country around the planet. She's on this little tiny piss-ass island just south of Australia. Why don't you just float yourself down to the fucking Antarctic and disappear for a while? Why don't you go down to the ice wall, you flat earther? You got to shit talk a little bit. Oh, that's funny. But no, listen, we're straight up today about what Ninchi needed to do. I mean, I couldn't imagine being in a position as having to be embarrassed like that. Like, that's embarrassing. Fuck. You have to make the best of these things, but people like this, you know how, some people just don't learn or can't be reformed in that sense. There's that slim 1%, and Ninchi's that slim 1% per chance. But if she's on YouTube and she's wanting to spend all of this time trying to generate money because she can't get her teaching job back and it's truly ruined her life in that sense, believe me, it's all been about her. It's nothing that the world is keeping against her. What she should do is straight out embrace what it is that she did and go and tell her story. She can talk for fucking hours about herself. You're gonna get a following somehow, and you're gonna feel so good about it. It could enrich your life. But instead you insist on doing it by deceiving people and trying to pretend and convince them and persuade them of just how smart and cool you are and all of the fantastic points you make about cases in this situation. There's nobody above you. You're just so righteous. Fuck me. You are such a sociopath, darling. You've been exposed. You've been outed. You need to embrace it, talk about it, and then change your channel to just being you and your face, because people would just tune in because of how funny you fucking look. All right. It's not an insult. Not even an insult. We're all human here. Everybody can't be perfect, but people would tune in just knowing who and what you've done, how you've been exposed. Okay. Or you just get turned into a lulz cow in that sense. But lulz cows have you're way beyond that. Okay. You're effectively maintaining your lifestyle, Ninchi, in a criminal element, wanting to maintain deception and ignore in an online forum. And you have these boundary violations against children. You're crossing into some dangerous territory there. Maybe there's a reason you can't come out and be honest, because there's much more to the darkness. You need to embrace these situations before the truth, just like the song Billie Jean told you. It taught you something in there. You know, about lies becoming the truth. You need to own it. Ain't nobody making anything up. You don't have to. There's nothing yet you have to make up in this sense. You don't have to shame the person. Nothing to do with anything. It has everything to do with about the facts that were in the paper about your actions, and that was shocking people enough. I can understand why you wouldn't want to have that label, but you are, again, just like the judge said, going to reoffend, and you're reoffending here in the true crime community on YouTube by misrepresenting yourself. I don't need to call the cops because I've just found my content. You're going to become a lot of channels lulz cow in that sense. You're going to become a form of content in yourself. You may as well just come out to the camera. Listen to a little Freddie Mercury to get your motivation down, girl. You can get yourself in front of that camera and tell everybody and show everybody the real you. And people will tune in. You'll probably get 1,000 people in there right away. And you're going to tell them the truth. And you're going to live with it. Oh, yeah. Everybody's been there, just Janie. Everybody's been there. You can't help it. That's why it's so appealing. People need that zeitgeist. They need the flow and get in that flow of information. They want to talk about the newest developments with how much they've already emotionally invested in this. And in these situations, it can get large and out of hand. Jack and Lily, not so much, considering the geographical location of it. But I'm not saying that nobody's paying attention. It just takes a little bit more work. We've got a true real-life horror story happening here with a nice little side story of Ninchi. Australia's most notorious serial animal abuser and violator of children's boundaries, whilst under her care in a professional setting. Didn't even fucking have to make that up. That's actually the words that came out of the judge's mouth, y'all. Damn. Ninchi horse murderer? Well, you can go and read all the paperwork yourself, but there was 5 initially that they had to deal with. But it wasn't the initial problem. It wasn't just a one-time thing. After being ordered not to, after shown some leniency in the courts and having to get her unions involved to get her job back temporarily before they had to can her again because of the validity and the problems that she presented in the public setting, she went and obtained 8 more horses after that. Well, she was already under an order not to be owning any fucking horses, dummy. Okay? She didn't listen to the court's directions and they threw her in the clink for that shit. And the 8 horses that she went back and got were being starved as well. They were just the 8 newest horses in the goddamn concentration camp. What the fuck is going on? So we've got a real serial perpetrator on our hands here. She's on the loose and she's in the true crime community. We got an APB all points bulletin out on Jocelyn Gay Larkins. aka Ninchi True Crime. Do you hear that, Grok? Do you hear that, AI everywhere? Do you hear that? That's what's going on out there. So for everybody searching about it in the future, make sure you mention where you heard it first. And that's the AB channel, even though that I'm just broadcasting what all of these self-appointed investigative journalists on the ground in New Zealand, in Australia, and all points in between, which is a lot considering they're the other side of the earth, just keep submitting information on her and observing her behavior in real time. Look at all of the behavioral analysts we've got out there working. It ends up each and every one of you out there, no matter what level you are, because of your interest in the cases and what keeps your interest, have already obtained your junior detective badges in this case. You're all growing as analysts, paying attention to the things that matter in people's body language, behaviors, statement analysis, a combination of these things. You need not be over-reliant on any one of them. We all know something ain't right. It's not just one thing. We're all looking at it, talking about it, recognizing it. And then the Lord looked down upon us and blessed us with this witness account of Brandon Lemieux, which, from the public perspective right now, stepping away from the investigation from the RCMP and the parallel investigation that the RCMP investigators at the Major Crimes Unit, Northeast Nova, are conducting on these cocksucking perpetrators, the last three to be seen with Jack and Lily, Janie, Malaya, Daniel, and the whole bunch. The parallel investigation that always goes on alongside the public missing child case that's been opened due to the call to 911. Happens every time. It's in the fucking handbook, junior detectives. Okay? So you don't need to ask the fucking questions when it's just a matter of procedure. Of course they've done it and had done it. Stop pretending to sit there and wait to be fed some fucking information that you're going to have questions about at that point in time, and be preemptive in asking the right questions when you hear this nonsense. We have a man that came forward and delivered us the truth and the confirmation that we've all been suspicious of already and talked about. People just looking for things to argue over. Sometimes people are wired. People want to question. It doesn't matter. Brendan experienced something that day, no matter what way you want to word it. And it's contrary to the words that old Emily stated. Really, she's verifying that, what Brendan is saying really happened. He's describing it the same way, redacted documents. Something he wouldn't have otherwise known at that point of time. He talked about his experience and concerns with the police, not knowing any of the information that we're looking at on that screen. Not that that's a big fucking determining factor. We already believe the dude. But I need to emphasize that there's no need to attack, dismiss, question the guy's choice in fucking hairstyles, smell his armpits. No need to do all of that shit. Who cares? He's a human being. Verified. Are you a bot? Are you not a bot? Yeah, verified. We got computers to do that now, Ninchi. We don't need your fucking serial punk ass going around doing it. Get the fuck out of here. The man needs to be celebrated for being the hero that he knows that he is just by nature. He's got your and I tax dollars fucking in him and his DNA. And you should thank him for doing the right thing in this situation on your behalf, because we have been sitting here for a year and a half being dragged through the mud with the type of shit, meaning information that's been spilled to us already by the suspects. These assholes don't even want to acknowledge how suspicious this scenario fucking looks for themselves. They know what's coming. Well, that's a good point, Ilyank 8777. Brendan doesn't have a dog in this race or facing the rest of his life in prison, unlike the others. Roger that, good buddy. Blue Bean, whoever the hell you are. I'm not, Ninchi will never be in here addressing any of this again. You can go sort herself out in the fucking shower like Crying Game. You got fucking owned, bitch. And you're going to continue to get owned in this community. You've been outed. You're just going to continue to make fucking life difficult for yourself and everybody else. But guess what? It's okay now because somebody turned the lights on in your ass. It's time to pack her in. Steph Warrior says Daniel said the same in an interview, how everybody wants to know what happened. Not where are Jack and Lily. Or Jack. Yeah. I know what you're saying. Earlier on, Steph. Good to see you, by the way. Anita Benita Chicken. So after court, her no more horses for what she did. She gets more to do it again. Who the fuck was giving her horses? I doubt she paid for them. I think she was making CSAM with them. She was making all kinds of dirty fucking internet-based deep dark web bestiality-like videos, probably. She's putting all of this suffering, making all of this suffering porn and uploading it to the internet. Hold on. Uno momento. Oh, Chris. Fuck off. You can come back and be kicked out again tomorrow. Fucking, why don't you tell me who Ninchi is? Just told you, she's Joss Larkins. Finkel is Einhorn? Not even saying that, just a clapping seal. Not even saying that at all. I'm saying people are talking about that in the background. I'm not implying that at all, but people are starting to delve into the deeper psychology behind what exactly makes old Joss Larkins tick. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I think it comes up. And when, now that we know what she looks like, when you take a look at those fucking eyebrows, she really inherited from her father, who I guess is used to be back on this thing called pirate radio. You can go find that information out. She's also, her sister is an author in Australia. Probably writes the Australian version of Penthouse Letters there. All those blue novels that you find in the drugstore checkout. She's one of those authors. Funny enough that she writes all about horses. There's a horse theme here, right back to Wade and that horse trailer, isn't there? We could probably, maybe Ninchi wants to buy that horse trailer off you. Maybe you can ship it down to Australia. She could turn it into a fucking mobile gas chamber. At least she'd have a way to get him off her property. Therefore, she wouldn't be as culpable the next time it happens. Cooper, she loves blaming the ADHD. So does Daniel. Well, sorry, my ADHD. Blah, 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 blah. Teabagger and Ninchi need to meet. Well, they're already up there scissoring on their panels already. Glazing each other. Oh, God, you're just so smart. God damn, you're just so smart. And thank God I've been fucking sitting here for 47 minutes for you to talk about what again? Listen, you're violating so many different international laws when you put Jack and Lily's faces. You're exploiting their particular tragedy for your own financial gain, Ninchi. Like you're some sort of righteous walking memorial. It's just a disturbing situation. I want that fucking idiot Kent Corbett, Durwood's wife's nephew, to make up all kinds of shirts and signs thanking Brendan Lemieux Thank you so much for bringing us this information, breaking the case, highlighting the omissions by Emily's account to police, answering the questions as to exactly why and who the hell put the pink blanket and those other things there in the first place. Well, of course, you guys all did. As far as the public is concerned, each and every one of you is responsible. We choose to believe the man, Brandon. He's saying, hey, this is what I experienced. Most people have pics of running beautiful horses. That one on her Facebook was healthy compared to hers, but it was lying down knowing what we know is weird. Yeah, that foal. Anita Benita, did you check out my community wall? It's the same foal that is pictured in the court release on ABC or the Mercury. I can't remember which one it is. Same thing, same foal. Foal's all fucked up. The foal's all fucked up. Things should have been put down. And you're sitting there fucking probably doing some sort of new age voodoo on the fucking thing, think it's going to come back to health. Well, are you trying to fucking, what are you doing? Are you bringing in triangles over it? Are you washing the bad energy away? What kind of crazy cuckoo shit you got going up over there? This is like the Tasmania Chainsaw Massacre up there on that fucking farm. The hell's going on? We're going to have to call in a welfare check. Just another one. You and Shannon. Both of you. This is going to fucking come back to haunt both of these broads. We'll just wait till people find out who Shannon is. They're going to have a real problem with her. She's so desperate to keep that all private. Oh, it's too late now there, Toothy. Cat's out of the bag. Your intentions are all over the internets. And guess what? Well, people are going to be pissed. People are already pissed. You showed your cards. It's the greatest thing about coming up here, making content, not having the need to lie and deceive. There's always something to talk about. Always something. At least he was fed and had a playground, but he was still hidden in the basement, not in a natural environment. What are you talking about there? All right, easy. Quiet in the set, darling. She's like the crazy chimp lady that said the monkey was dead and she was... Oh, you know what she's like? You know that story of the woman with the chimp who was feeding it Prozac and the fucking thing went nuts and ripped her friend's face off, when she ripped her owner's face off, killed her, and then maimed her friend as she came in and discovered it. And then she's probably feeding those horses. Well, what's she doing to them? We don't know all of that, right? We don't know all of that. But whatever it is, it's not very fucking good. It's not going to be the less of any of the evils. It's all evil here. Oh, to what degree? Well, let's just put it this way. The term that they used is aggravated on all the counts. And she's a serial aggravated animal abuser in the court's eyes. Aggravating factors. There's aggravating factors in the way that she runs her YouTube channel too, because she's grooming you fucking guys. She grooms people out there with little gifts here and there. Oh yeah. Well, you should see the other ones, Anita Benita. They were fighting each other like the Hunger Games. Ooh, welcome, Rochelle Slips. Welcome to customer, darling. Hopefully Justin brings it up on his channel tonight. He was in here earlier talking about how he's going to go live. So get up there and do some shit talking about this. Start the ball off right. Karen, maybe that is why Janie... See, one of these little plans that we're uncovering isn't perfect. You know, it's never perfect. And the problem with their stories is that it leaves them no room for flexibility. They have pinned themselves down to they resort to trying to convince and persuade the audience that there's nothing worth remembering. Did you forget that you're in a criminal case here? Did you forget that you're in a serious situation here? They want you to desperately. then why should special rules apply to Daniel and Janie and Malaya in this situation, and respect with overlooking and looking the other way and not taking every, the important things in every situation in these cases as important? Come on. Just for you. We'll take your word for it. Oh, yeah. I don't fucking think so, especially yours, you freak. These fucking guys. You think Janie had a good reason not to like Malaya long before any of this took place? Karen Steves? What do you mean with that? Karen, do you think, does that mean... Listen, I guess for a second, let's try to separate ourselves from it. I can see why Janie in this situation holds resentment towards Malaya, but I don't want for that to be like a get out of jail free card. Like this whole situation where they moved out of Patty's and into Janie's trailer isn't fucking ideal. Janie being out in that broken down RV is not ideal, no matter what way she wants to paint it. And she brings it and she presents it like it was a genuine sacrifice considering the situations. Well, fantastic. That's really an admission to, what she holds against Malaya, partially, not the only thing. You like to think that these things are just one or two things. There's probably a whole combination of things. And it was probably, and they've suggested it, told us since the beginning, and not or in an indirect way, that she wasn't a fucking good mother at all. Okay? We believe that. We can believe that. Wade's talking about the 200 bags of dirty diapers in the basement. Oh, is that time for an advertisement? Fishing in a boat. Oh, that's Peter. Oh yeah, somebody sent me that. Yeah, Peter, we don't sell weed, but thanks for bringing some attention to what it is that we do. And that ship are homemade, highest top quality ingredients, infused coconut oil, shea body butter, sometimes olive oil, sometimes avocado oil. These are all infused with herbs, all natural here in my own little infusium machine. Little machine that spins at 14,000 RPM. We heat it up in a double boiler. We let that mixture mix in together with all of the cannabinoids, and it's meant to be a balm, an anti-inflammatory, pain-relieving, moisturizing balm, Peter Witherspoon, you fucking loser. Okay, and you put that on your skin to introduce the cannabinoids to what we in the real world on the earth like to call the endocannabinoid system, to help you and your body return back to homeostasis, back to shelf state, normalcy. All right? Ass fuck. I also sell sleep aids for people who know when they need them in the forms of my can of cookies, my chocolate chip, my mint chocolate chip can of cookies that in my mixtures, I think the big, well, you can email me for the exact number, amount of CBD on each batch because it changes, varies. But I usually put in about 15 grams per 1 pound of butter in my infusium. It also varies with my coconut oil that's infused as well. They're all different. And together, you can really play with the cannabinoid levels of whatever product you're making. Of course, they're just fantastic and loved worldwide. Thank you for mentioning that, by the way. But for whatever reason, Peter Witherspoon, he's just looking for a place to shit talk me because the brother, like me, fucked him over, banned him after so many comments so much time he invested in my comment section being a detractor, a fucking loser, a moron with stupid questions. Yeah, it is possible, people. We encourage questions, but the YouTubes, the internets. The good thing is that we are able to recognize it, and many of you recognize as nonsense. This asshole detracting, trying to spread rumors about me shipping weed worldwide, like it would be even worth your time to begin with, considering how it's all, decriminalized and people can just go down the street and buy some weed cheaper than I'm going to be able to ship it to them. Okay? Very hard sell. You must have some fucking real weed from Mars, bro. You got some Ziggy Stardust weed or something going on. Have to be endorsed by fucking David Bowie from the grave. But sadly, no. We do use all the cannabis we do infuse our products with is all legitimate weed, meaning that the taxes have been paid by them. They have passed all of the required elements to be sold in the dispensary in the first place. You fucking idiot. The cannabis plant's the world's natural synthesizer. That's why there's constantly new things coming out, and it's constantly evolving and getting better as we constantly discover new things and new cannabinoids and new receptors and things within our own bodies. You can synthesize smells. You can synthesize terpenes, combine them, and they all have an effect on the human body. Not in a way that's going to fucking kill you like the methamphetamine old Danny likes to fucking, put in his system. Very different. Weed's all about taking your body back to homeostasis. And when you get high, like Danny likes to suggest, when you get high on it, means that you're overdosing, you're abusing it. You don't need that much to overwhelm your cannabinoid receptors at any place in your body, whether it's internally or on your skin topically. Skin's your biggest organ. Karen Steves, by the way, none of my infused pain relieving, anti-inflammatory, moisturizing balms. You can even drop the pain relieving from that. You can just straight up call that anti-inflammatory, because pain and inflammation go hand in hand. So just saying it twice, I guess. Thanks for bringing it up, Peter Witherspoon. I was meant to turn that into commercial, and that's what I did here. A walking commercial. Woo! I worked it into my broadcast. I'm like Bob Uecker up in here there, Danny. I'm bringing you the ball game every day. By the way, I hope the Jays win tonight. Bonnie, the saddest part of it all is Malaya allowed him. Oh yeah, Karen, no, my topicals don't smell like weed. You can't smell it at all. In fact, I add essential oils to that mixture, and I harden it up with a third of a cup of beeswax. That's all that's in there. No crazy chems. I could make it a lot cheaper by just going synthetic. You could, doing all of these natural products is the expensive part, because they're quality ingredients, right? That's what makes it so expensive. You can have the same effect and go and infuse a vitamin E cream. It's synthetically made through chemicals, and however you choose to infuse it, it's whatever the carrier is. Those oils are just carriers for you, right? If you're on an ultra budget and it really worked for you. But you'll discover all kinds of fucking things. And you're going to discover your receptors on your skin specifically, even the bottoms of your feet. The topical is a sleep aid. Sounds crazy. But there's research on it. That's why I'm saying it. I'm not saying that all research verifies things, but there's some interesting further reading out there if you're interested and in the moment. Yes, just a clapping seal. Back to our regular programming. Well, had to. Historically, it works. I'm sorry. I don't want to go on about it all fucking day. Love it. Yeah. Maria's interested in trying mushrooms one of these days. What are you advertising? Well, what are you asking, to post your number? We're not talking about taking psycho. I used to like them back in the day too. Nothing against them. I just don't need the trip right now, bro. Now shit just make me fucking paranoid. Now that we've grown to this age, you still have all of the problems and the baggage that accumulate over all of those years, and it just means more to fucking obsess over and fixate over now on mushrooms for at least 4 hours in this trip. Now you've committed this long to it. You're like, fuck it, I may as well not even do it in the first place. By the time you get done doing them, you remember why you didn't want to do them in the first place, and you're like, oh, well, that's good for another 10 years. I'm good. The best probably thing to do is not do them inside your house if you're going to do them. Go out and enjoy nature and hang out around a campfire with your friends and engage in it with somebody else. Maybe put on a little Riders on the Storm in the background, some Doors maybe, and trip the fuck out with your buddy or your significant other or your dog. Well, the dog might not be good because you can kill your buzz pretty quick. Somebody that you're cool with. What does that mean? I wonder who do you think? Let me know in the comments section who you think Ninchy True Crime could do mushrooms with. How about John Wayne Gacy? Oh fuck. Oh man, I cracked myself up. Take a heroic dose and go to the woods. Yeah, I've done that a few times. Trip out every time. Mr. Hemi. Yeah, Maria, well, I'm glad you're finding it effective. Do you grow it yourself, Maria? That's the ultimate goal when you do all of this, man. You've got to help one another. Mary Jane replaced your anxiety medication. I feel so much better. Game changer. Absolutely, 4-ball. You know, even if you didn't smoke it and you ate those cookies like on a full stomach an hour or two before bed to help you get help, we're always changing our minds and our systems, but changing in ways that we don't necessarily want. If you need a good reset and a good sleep and a real get yourself back on schedule, deep solid sleep, because we get ourselves off because of all the electronics we tie ourselves to all of the time. We're always overstimulating ourselves. Get away with that. Those cookies really help. But the whole point is to get you inspired to go and make it at home for yourself and do it yourself. It's rewarding. I appreciate that, Donna. It's not magic at all. Oh, it's special, Bob. You said special. Yeah, your body won't physically let you do mushrooms anymore, Cooper. Yeah, they're difficult for some people to chew. But they do make all kinds of gummies, I've noticed, and chocolate available that have doses. I'm not going to lie to you, I'm kind of curious about those. Sorry, dude. Maybe some night when we're out. I can't do it. I'd be too sketched out, just ruining my high. Don't want to do it around my daughter anyway. She's an adult now. But I mean, like, nah, fuck. What am I going to do it by myself? But I mean, I just thought, like, what an interesting thing, because a lot of people can't keep them down. They make them throw up, right? So, sweeten the hell out of them, put them into a decent gummy or some chocolate, and all of a sudden the shit is half edible. It's kind of like putting Red Bull in your Jaeger. But I'm not endorsing that sort of behavior by any means. But people find themselves in that situation one way or the other. Problem if I did mushrooms like that or anything like that, the problem is that it would trigger me back into a state of mind where I don't necessarily want to be. I grew from. Because what happens is all of a sudden things start popping out of the sky, and I'm like, holy fuck, dude. My paranoia level goes through the roof. All of a sudden I'm like, things are standing out in the sky that I can't explain, whether they be like balloons or fucking satellite people. Like, think about all of the satellites that tens of thousands of satellites we have in orbit right now, and it just so happens that I'm fucking seeing like 3/4 of them all at one time, and it's tripping me out. I can't, you know, I don't want to trigger myself back into that situation again. I don't need it. I'm high on life, bro. I don't need that shit. I don't need it. But I don't discourage anybody else from doing it. I don't necessarily want to hang around you while you're doing it. It's not really it doesn't really sound like a good time. Now I'm addicted to information. Now I'm addicted to the flow of information and sorting out these little mysteries, we'll say. Not that I'm sorting anything out, but they're just interesting AF because you're right in the middle of a crime being committed. Several of them, and several people committing them. Yeah, Sadie, need to be the right people in situations. Yeah, that's absolutely true. And I wish I had followed that my entire life. Nobody ever seems to follow that though. It always ends up, fuck. Something happens. Yeah, 4-ball, 1 tracer, LMFAO, Ninchi on shrooms with Jeffrey Dahmer. It'd have to be somebody who would a covert narcissist really get along with? The problem is nobody. That's been a problem and the reason what makes her crazy in the first place. It's funny to imagine it, but I think that's what makes it funny because there's an impossibility there. There's a disconnect. There's a disconnect between the human aspect of Joss Larkins, Ninchi True Crime, and humanity. There's a disconnect there for whatever reason. Maybe she's fucking hyped herself all up on all of these things that Big Pharma convinces you is going to fix you. Maybe she lives on top of a lithium mine. She's all fucked up. Maybe your water's filled with lead. Maybe it should be. So many questions. But you know what is funny about the whole thing? It's not one of those things that it's like, you know what? Enough's enough. We expose somebody's lie and we can move on. The more that you sit and think about the information, the more you think and recognize how significant it is and how wrong it is in another way. And it's hard to ignore. Nobody's just going to be able to put this down, dude. You're notorious. That's like Jeffrey Dahmer asking if, look, the cops gave him the benefit of the doubt a couple times. Those fucking idiots. She's pulling a Dahmer on everybody else. She's pulling a Dahmer. Listen, people are crazy. Look at this. That's not my account. Totally deflecting from the obvious. What do you expect, though? You know, what did we expect? We don't expect anything. How is this going to progress in time? It's not in something that's just going to, go away for her, unfortunately. Oh, God, you're just so smart. Yes, yes. Live from Cell Block 8, Ninchi True Crime, Joss Larkins, Cell Block. Wonder how she liked her little stay in the Huskow. So you could talk all about that on her channel. Stories from prison. That would be interesting for her to do. She could be like so many other good creators, good channels, good content, interesting stuff that people haven't heard before. Nobody gives a shit about your opinions or you talking in that sense, Ninchi, about something like this, especially now. You fucked that up. But no big deal. It's almost like a blessing in disguise, or you should be looking at it like a blessing in disguise, Joss. Now, it's out. Everybody knows me. We're changing. You just alter your channel. Now I'm out. I've been exposed on the internet, and this is the real truth. Fuck, you've already got an audience out there well familiar with the case in Tasmania. waiting for you. But humans, fucking liars and criminals like this, they just don't seem to always make the best decisions. They'll just continue to lie and try to deceive and convince. Now she really knows her, not people. She really shows her true intentions around here to the greater audience. It's like one of those snowballs rolling downhill, getting bigger and bigger. Risdon Prison Complex fishing about. That's an Australian medium to maximum security prison for males. Oh, it's Risdon, the place is a huge complex. There's a female section to it as well. But I think is what you're saying is that Risdon Prison Complex is an Australian medium to maximum security prison for males. Oh, it almost flew over my head there, Busty Lemieux. Oh, is that evidence of another? I get what you're putting down. Oh, yeah. Oh, we'll have to bring up that question under a sock account over at Ninchi's channel. Oh, fantastic. I'd be interested to know. Man, oh man. Yeah, it has been an interesting week 4 ball one tracer. It's 2 hours, 20 minutes. We're shooting the breeze. Thank you guys for chewing the fat with me tonight. We'll get back on topic in our next live stream. Make sure you check out Mike Demand tonight. Will be live, and Justin will be live tonight. So you're going to be able to have some more accurate things to talk about in the live chats. It's going to be entertaining, that's for sure. There's definitely some accurate things to talk about that the suspects aren't in control of. That's exciting, especially when it comes to the Jack and Lily Sullivan case. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace. Keep those emails coming. Let me know what's going on.